Are you not quite sure of you? Does a heart that pound within you now know what must be true? Is the sun forever hiding? Have you still got clouds to see? There I am, the rainbow to guide you. Oh, if you please. Only hearts as strong can weaken. Only hearts as strong can cry. Only hearts that feel the way ours does can understand the why. Only love as strong as kindness can release you from the chains of a love so strong for someone true. Only hearts like ours remain. Are the storm clouds slowly moving? Are the pictures getting clear? You would long last see the heart that's mine. You must know that I am near. I will take you in my arms tonight. I will show you what it means to at last see why, to know the love only hearts like ours can see. Only hearts is strong can weaken. Only hearts is strong can cry. Only hearts that feel the way ours does can understand the why. Only love as strong as kindness can release you from the chains of a love so strong for someone true. Only hearts like ours remain. Only hearts like ours remain. Only hearts like ours remain.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live at critical-mass-radio.co.uk. Yeah, what was I going to do tonight? Yeah, I was going to do some music tonight. You know, kind of, I was going through some files in my other hard drive. It's kind of neat. I came across a few tunes you guys haven't heard yet. And I thought it might be a little bit of fun to share those. Unfortunately, right now I'm having a hell of a time getting them uploaded. They're getting to 96 and 99%, but they're not carrying through. But as I said, I think I still want to stay on that course tonight because that's my world. That's my silly spirit trip. And it's like a lot of the documents, essays, and stuff that I'm writing are just other songs without the music. And because when I was listening back, I had quite a chuckle. I go down the list of what have I got open here. I listened to a couple of tunes I did with the last band I was with, Inverness, and that was very interesting. I've got other ones here that I've got actually a couple in here that were recorded at home, you know, just my own gear. You know, when I got around to, taking the time to set everything up. You know, it's really, for those that are actually in the recording game or performing game, it's always very hard to push your own material. The biggest fear you have is just applying different treatments to every song. So I always had that in the back of my mind. Plus, you're also splitting your creative as far as, wanting to push buttons and, you getting set up, start to click, and it's much easier when you have someone else pushing the buttons. I mean, you can produce your own stuff, but it's much easier when someone else is taking care of the the knobs and dials and sliders and what have you. So anyway, what have I got here? Found a bunch of tunes, some older Athenry. You guys have heard some of the Athenry stuff that's on the Blog Talk page. Tunes like Day by Day, Don't Stop Music, Hometown Girl. I had a chuckle at that last night. Now those, there's a couple of different albums that I did with the band. One was called, the first one was called Nature of the Game, and the second one was called They Slept In. Very funny story around that. It's based on a true story, and it's a long story, but I won't get into it. Kind of an insight to the band. It wasn't so much a joke. It was really, just saying the truth, And isn't it interesting that in Funk's Laurie slept in? Yeah, isn't that funny? That's what I thought too. But they certainly did, didn't they? They got it kind of backwards, actually. What other tunes have I got? I'm not sure if I have Over Me on the board. Let me just check what I've got. Yeah, these things are just not wanting to upload. And I don't down the list here. I don't know if you guys are in the mood for me tonight, but I think we've been hammering at this a lot lately, and I thought it'd be a bit of fun just to sit back and do a few tunes. Now it looks like I got some editing to do, but anyway, got Only Hearts. I have played Over Me. I got Pretty Eyes, Refuge, Rescue. What else we got? Shadow Road. Let me see. Yeah, Too Late. I wasn't sure if I've ever played that one. Got Why They Cry, Things of Love, Wandering, You're the Sun to Me, and other tunes that I found from the 2001 release I did called Love Could, and I do believe I have played. Do I have that in this? I think I do have that. I think I have played that one for people. One that it's there. That I played a lot of. I mean, I got my own reasons for certain tunes, and but that one, so the title track I do have up there, but there's a couple others, and these were done very low budget, just one other individual, which is the case with a lot of stuff in terms of self-producing. Just a studio. I mean, it's decent quality, and I called it album filler because I had lots of, not a lot of full produced. Again, it's all about budget, right? And a lot of understand how money goes into this. Typically, the average song, if you like, I'm talking on a low budget level, you're talking between $3 and $5 to do one song properly, reasonably properly. So you run out of money real quick. Simple Love. That one actually charted in 1992 off the first album. I'm going to try to get that uploaded. I've got Nature of the Game on the first album. I'm going to try to get that. The ones that I was talking about with the filler, if you will, things like Shelter, where was Shelter, and I'm Doing Fine. I'm Doing Fine is a really interesting little tune because I explored a lot of different angles vocally, and this one is really different. If I do get it uploaded, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I've got another one called Nature of the Game album called It Is You. Another one from Larry Slept In, I'd Like to Stay. And that's the song, the line in it that I refer to a lot. I wrote that one in 1990, and it's the one line, a blind man sees more because he sees with his heart, and that's the song that line is in. So rather interesting, and listening back to the talents of the individuals I was hanging out with in band form or just a recording studio form. It was really interesting too. These were all moments in time, and of course I'm listening to all of these just I haven't listened to a lot of them in years, and it was interesting that as soon as I put one, whatever song was, it always went back to like highlight time that it was played live with the band, and it's pretty reliving really cool moment, and it's amazing how you can surprise yourself. I've got a couple ones here that are just how to put it, one take off the floor in case of where was it? Let me see. That's What Love Is For. This is the first take of any recording I ever did of it, and it's pretty neat. Another one I recorded at home called Where to Start, and another one, Where Were You, and another one off the Larry album called With You. So there's actually a fair bunch of tunes here. I've got Scotland Forever. That was one of the things with Inverness. And again, a lot of this stuff, well, in terms of Inverness, wasn't really completely finished. The only one that really got completely finished was You're the Sun to Me. It's Inverness. You guys have heard that one. But Day by Day, another one called Crash and Burn. That was written about a local bar. Very tongue-in-cheek, sexual innuendo. That's basically this place had a reputation. I think I played there 2 or 3 times, but it had a reputation of basically being the trollster for guys and girls. That's all I went there to do. So I wrote a song called Crash and Burn, being one of the neutral observers watching this constant crash and burn happen with guys hitting on girls and vice versa. It was no holds barred, that place. That's why I only played it a couple of times. Just not a great energy to be around. But anyway, I got a really fun tune out of it, and it just rocked along. So I'm hoping, this one song, Hometown Girl, I'm trying to get loaded up, is still sitting at 96%. So I'm not sure what's going on with the blog. I normally have these issues uploading and stuff, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. Oh, the connection's choppy, is it? That's probably because I'm trying to upload that tune. Thank you for that, Randy. And let me just see. Yeah, thank you, John. I thought it was a good idea, too. I just, all too often people come to the table and I'm just this ranting bitch going off on the system and all the rest of it. But you might as well get an idea as to where this passion really comes from. And it comes from music for me. That is my silly spirit trick. And listening back to stuff last night, it really kind of sunk home. Getting back, and some of these tunes recorded 22 years ago. It's kind of mind-boggling to really think that these songs, well, one, are that old, and two, given the really levels of talent in terms of recording and performing and whatever. The first album, I can sit there all day and just put it apart. But there are moments, like listening back to it, knowing where we were. I mean, the first album, the band was only 3 months old when we did the first album. And it was only 6 songs, like not full album, but that was an album to us. It was put on CD, and I actually did really well as far as any copies that were made. I think we might have done, figure around, after all was said and done, probably between 2,000 and 3,000 copies. We sold all that stuff off the stage, and we had T-shirts and you name it. We had everything. It was pretty funny. It was all self-done. We didn't have any agents. We didn't have any real management. Period. People that called themselves managers, but I was always the one doing the work. Of course, funding everything. What are the odds of that, right? But just great memories, great times, and very, very perfect time in terms of writing. And this is, for me, getting back into that focus again of the real. And I just thought I'd share a bit of that tonight. So hang in there. I think, this is still not showing, so let me cancel this. That's just retarded. Okay. Talk about, what do you call it? Alice in Wonderland. An interesting post up on my Facebook today in relation to what I was actually looking at last night. So it's neat how when you know your yellow brick road, you're seeing the things that are lining up, and and what's getting exposed and confirmed and affirmed for you. So that being said, I mentioned Alice in Wonderland. The song Cheshire Grin was inspired by Cheshire Cat. So it is basically the idea behind the song that I had for it was that I was the Cheshire Cat, and when I left or disappeared, that I would always leave a smile behind. That was the idea of music. So it was kind of a musical story of the effect I hope to have whenever I or the band played anywhere, that when we left, we always left smiles behind. And we were pretty strict as far as drinking nothing while we performed. And actually anything like beer or whatever was very, very minimal anyway outside of that. But when you stop and think about, you're playing bars and clubs and larger venues and what have you, and that stuff's always around. But we were of the mindset, at least I was, and this is kind of my rule. You want to play with me, then I want any drunks on stage, and I want people, if they're paying to come out and see us and want a good night. I'm not paying to see a bunch of drunks screwing up on stage. It was about pure professionalism, so we could be the best we could. It was one of the things about Athen Rye that really me stood out was we never got captured really in the studio. We were a band, and I do have, if I could find the stuff, it's in the storage unit somewhere, but some really cool videotapes and audio from rehearsals and whatnot, and we were always at our best live. But that being said, let me just chip in here with Cheshire's Grin. I'll open this up musically. And if anybody wants to jump in right now, why don't you just put your hand up, and then we get into doing some music. You get some of your feedback as to what you think about doing this tonight. That would be cool. So for anyone that wants to jump in, all you got to do is hit 1 on your dial pad on your phone, or open up the Skype dial pad and hit 1 on that as well. And there we go. Hands up, baby. Hands up. How are ya? You're on 704. Okay. Is that choppy, or you got it muted on you? And I got your mic open 7.
I had it muted. Sorry, Kate.
That's okay. I do it too. I've been talking with the mic muted. And, I'm so blonde Irish. It's all good.
Favorite song of yours is "You Are the Sun to Me."
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do that after I do Cheshire Grin. But yeah, that was one I wrote for Sue and my daughters. And I think those that have tuned in for a while, they know the story behind that. It was the complete defiance of having completely one of the shittiest weeks of my life. And I said, no, there's no way I'm going to get down on this. So I wrote that.
Kate, whenever you talk about your daughters, obviously the psychological reaction for your fans and listeners and, people who just listen to the show is sadness. But on the other hand, I hope that you feel like a lot of us are kind of looking at you, not as a parental guide, but I hope your family realizes that you provide a lot of psychological and emotional support for thousands of people. You know what I mean? I hope that people in your family
totally,
see that, because you have that quality.
Well, thank you for that, because that truly is it. And when I say
you
things
are my mom.
like you, yeah, when I say things like I do this because you matter this much, I'd say that with lightly. I say that because that's where it's coming from. So there you go. We got Lynn in here as well, so thank you for that. And you got it nailed. Hey, Lynn, Supergirl,
hey.
How are you?
Oh, good. As a family member here, I would just like to jump in and say yes. I so see that and appreciate that very much so in you. Thank you very much, sister. And playing the music would be divine. I would enjoy it thoroughly.
We'll have a bit of fun. Playing the tunes and give you some background story on it and what have you. And something else about the music, and I haven't really been playing a lot over the last few years, and people ask me, why don't you play more of it on the air and stuff? Well, I got to tell you, these are very precious moments in my life, and they bring back to those moments. So this is me confronting me tonight. I had a great chat, Mary, today. So, you know, I found the core issue with me, and it's because I find it so difficult to believe all of those around me, family and stuff. By means, you're not family I'm referring to here. I'm talking about the previous. I find it very hard to believe, and for me, it's I want to be so wrong on this, and that's the complete opposite. And it was a great, like I said, it was a great chat with Mary today, and this is what I came, and I've been coming to terms with this myself, but this is really what it boils down to, is because I want to be so wrong about my intuition. And all of the things that I know to be true and be real, I want to be desperately wrong. Because to be right is not a good thing on this one. And as I had a great discussion today, I know this, guys, and you know these same things within yourselves. I know I'm right. It's just that I got to come to terms with accepting that. That's all it is. So that's the other main thrust for the music tonight. So this is me confronting a lot of me in the purest and only real way I know how to do that. So let's take a little walk on the musical side. So this one, and every song tonight is for each and every one of you, because as it all turns out, in the end, I wrote them for you anyway. So these are yours, and please make them that way. Now, I mute you guys out, or if you want to mute out on your end, that works too. So I prefer to leave the mics open. So if you do want to mute out on your end, that would be great. That way I'm not worried about bringing people back in and stuff. So we'll keep it open. But for those that do come in, I would ask, once I open your mic, to please be mindful that every sound that is made on your end is picked up. So let's keep this as clean as we can tonight. So here you go. This one's for you guys, Cheshire Grin.
You've no reason to be alarmed. It's only me, no one else. Remember me, the one you love, the one who really cares. If you look outside your door, you'll find me. I'll be waiting there. I'm the one with a Cheshire grin and a fairy tale to share, to share, to share, to share. Oh, I know you understand. I can read your smile. I can see your thoughts so clearly, and I know you're there. If you look outside your door, you'll find me. I'll be waiting there. I'm the one with the Cheshire grin and the fairy tale to share, to share, to share, to share. You've no reason to wonder why. No need to be alone. All you need is standing here before you. This heart beats loud. If you look outside your door, you'll find me. I'll be waiting there. I'm the one with the Cheshire grin and the fairy tale to share. If you look outside your door, you'll find me. I'll be waiting there. You're the one with the Cheshire grin, and the fairy tale is yours. Is yours. Is yours. It's yours.
Yeah, you can tell a lot of these tunes were that I'm going to play were actually set up to be built upon, right? That's actually a bed track, effectively just an acoustic vocal run through, which comprises a lot of stuff that I have. One studio I was at, I had 45 and 50 bed track songs laid down like that, and as fate would have it, and that's a lot of time spent doing that, by the way. As fate would have it, the hard drive ended up getting that it was stored on got dropped, and all of the tunes gone in one fell swoop. What a happy feeling that was, I'll tell you. But yeah, Cheshire Grin. It was always a lot of fun to play. One of the few tunes I did in Dadgad, or double drop D, as I prefer to call it, where the high E and the low E are both tuned to the D. So it allows for a lot of one finger chording and whatever, and you get some really cool harmonics when you're messing around with it as well. But it was a pain in the arse. Now, I at one point when I had the more countrified aspect band going on, I had two matching Takamine Limited 92. So one of them I could leave. One was a backup, right, and one, in for Kid Broke a String or whatever. But I could use that one in the Dadke tuning. So if I wanted to play Cheshire Grin, it was already set to go ahead and have to stand there and detune my guitar on stage, which is always a lot of fun listening to people do that, tuning their instruments on stage during a show. So I really hated that feeling. Anyway, there you go. The next song, You're the Sun to Me. And this one is actually in 432 hertz, which is not an audible difference from the standard 440. You see, here's the joke. A law was passed. The fictional law was passed. Look how absolutely retarded humanity got to. A law was passed in 1955 that made it illegal to tune in 432. That's basically what it was saying. That the law passed that all concert instruments must now be tuned at the pitch of A being 440 hertz. And for those in the know, 432 is the heart, and 440 is the mind. So they, in one fell swoop, apparently musicians didn't rebel and decide to tune their instruments whatever hell way they wanted, move the music from the heart. This is why a lot of stuff, older orchestrated symphony kind of stuff, feels so much better because it was done in the original 432 pitch. So things obviously got changed in 1955. That meant slight retooling of certain instruments, typical brass and woodwind being in the B flat standard pitch. They'd have to alter that 8 hertz in their design. So for me, that was another example of how this principality aspect is so terrified of us that they would think it would matter to move the music from the heart to the mind. Well, it would have mattered if we hadn't caught it, but there's the magic of it. So this is You're the Sun to Me, and it is recorded. This is Inverness, the last band I was with. It was recorded 432 hertz. So enjoy. This one's for you guys.
Just can't get much better. Feel the sun on your face even when it's rainy weather. When nothing matters, just as long as we're together. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. I can't remember ever feeling like I'm feeling. Head in the clouds all day, got me flying, got me reeling. And there ain't no way my heart can't be concealing. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. And I got my reasons, they won't need explaining. But why I smile all day, even though it's always raining. 'Cause you're the one thing that is constant and sustaining. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. Ever woke up when it just can't get much better?
And there you go. You're the sun to me. Yeah, I think a lot of fun with Blog Talk tonight. Apparently, the Flash add-on isn't loading, so it's not allowing me to do things in terms of uploading. So we'll carry on. I've got a bunch of tunes here that I haven't played in ages. So we have Maggie in the call as well. You guys want to jump in? Hola. Anybody? Anybody help?
Hello. That was very nice. I enjoyed it very much. Michael posted about the pyramids and being a resonant chamber, and I thought that was just the coolest thing. I watched that video, and it made me think of the Stonehenge. We have a replica not an hour and a half away from where I live, And that was one of my thoughts when I went in there. I could see the indigenous people, doing ceremonies in there, and how maybe it amplified the sound and stuff. And so I thought that was a really exciting video. How about you? Did you watch it?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I did see it. I've actually been out most of the day today, and haven't had a chance to really catch up much on any of the sites. I did see that Michael had posted it, so I went to it for sure.
It was just before the show, actually. Yeah, it was exciting. And they went inside the Red Pyramid, and you could just hear the sound being so amplified. And then, crud, I can't remember the amount of flights they went up to the next chamber, and in that chamber there were 13, well, it's a musical term, and I can't think of it right now, but it was amazing to hear. So.
Yeah, you hear academia talking about the pyramids and tunnels getting dug to a certain length. Oh, they just stopped digging there because for some reason or other. The reason why they stopped digging was they had gotten far enough into the pyramid, and what they were doing, that was the tuning the pyramid. So what they had done was, and you can see these in the pyramids. When they got to that point, they had calculated it to be a certain distance. It makes sense physically. Music is math, anyway. And these unfinished, quote, not finished tunnels were the tunings of the pyramid, and they dug out just enough to get the exact frequency we're looking for. And I got thinking a little bit about the sarcophagus that is, is in the big pyramid. I forget what the pyramid, Khufu or whatever. Anyway, the main pyramid at Giza, and there was a sarcophagus in a chamber there. And I got thinking about the whole Emerald Tablets thing, and that was where someone would go in and lie in, and there's stories about Napoleon went in and couldn't last whatever amount of time because those were pure heart. It would literally drive them. Their frequencies would drive them at the pyramids, and these buildings were specifically tuned to a certain energy of a being, right? And those that weren't working in the benevolent side basically ran out of tails between their legs very quickly. So it's a lot of neat history around that, and there's always a reason why things are the way they are. It's up to us to figure out this beautiful little maze we call the Earth game, and to make our way. We got Mystified in the call as well, and Maggie, your line is open too. Just letting everybody know, whoever comes down, opening up the lines.
Hey, kid.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. Yeah, we're going through these. So the next one I think I wanted to do was Why Dad Cries, and this is one of these solo guitar vocal bed tracks that was laid down before anything else could have gotten put onto it. So that one's going to be the next. So what is on your mind?
My mind's blank tonight.
Good. That's kind of the intent I'm looking for, where we can just sit back and clear our minds for an evening, myself included. And we haven't done that in a while. It's been many months since we've done this. And for me, this is just taking a walk down the musical trail, if you will, of literally pretty much, I wouldn't say when I started. I started playing guitar when I was 16. That would be 1981. And self-taught, whatever, and it just progressed from there. I learned to play by writing, and a lot of people say, well, "Why don't you do cover tunes?" I said, "Most of the cover tunes I want to do are not in my pitch range." Go figure. And I always found it difficult to try to emulate somebody else's and make it mine, if you will. And I found a handful of songs that I really good example is the song Rocket Girl. And one of the very few songs I ever would play live anytime I was doing a solo gig. I did. There's a few other typical Van Morrison stuff, the party tunes and a little bit Jimmy Buffet. You might say Buffett. I say Buffet. It's a musical buffet every time I listen to that guy. But I was very, very standoffish, and most of it was just out of fear of screwing up somebody else's song. So I figured, well, if I forget the words in one of my songs, nobody's going to notice. And then all of a sudden the song started, getting out of the same people coming up singing along. And if I ever blanked on I couldn't blank on a line. I'll tell you an interesting story if I can get Simple Love uploaded. While that song was charting, I had a very profound experience, and it was the last time I ever played the song live. That's how much I was scared. But anyway, just wanted to share that. We got Colleen and Brendan and Darren's on the line tonight. Let's make this kind of just sit around, clear our minds. Let's just take that. This is a way of breathing, just breathing. So let's just have just breathe kind of nice and fun.
Hear, hear. I'm so grateful
Kate.
to hear Paul's mind was blank.
Yes, that's the kind of day I've had today. Isn't that interesting? Just kind of a real, kind of a dreamy kind of energy today. Spending a lot of time in nature, and then something I don't do that often. I just put a video in, and it was a video, one of my favorites. A DVD, and it's called Fairy Tale, A True Story. I don't know if anyone has ever watched that. There's a lot of allegory, beautiful gems in this movie. It has Peter O'Toole is Arthur Conan Doyle, and Harvey Keitel is Harry Houdini, and it's about these two girls in England.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's two girls in England that believe in fairies, and it's based on a true story from 1917. And they photographed fairies down in the I forget what they call it, like a little beautiful little valley, but it's exquisite. The English countryside, it's just beautiful. So that's the kind of day I had. And then, Kate, with your music, I'm just like in La La Land. Just beautiful. So thank you. It's just perfect.
Well, I tell you, that's the whole intent behind it, to just get a nice, clean energy and have some fun doing it.
Yes, so thank you. That's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to sit back and just really take it all in.
Yeah, I've had the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
I've been, just loving it up all over the place. Delivery guys, store guys, and then had a lovely individual come in for treatment. I share energy. I don't tell them that I can do it for them or nothing. I'm not a healer. But I bring them back into themselves that I can claim. I just get out of the way to be the conduit. And she accepted it fully. Totally changed. Shapeshifter. I said, that's the greatest compliment. And she's like, what? I never said nothing. I'm like, your body, it's shapeshift. And she went to the mirror and she's like, oh, wow. I said, that's the greatest compliment. Give me $5,000, nothing. Give me that, and then pass it along with the rest of the bubbles. Everything. Beautiful. What a huge exchange.
Well, yeah, and this goes back to what Sivan had said the other night, and it really rang the 432 hertz A bell right inside. He was talking about those that fully understand what creation is. They don't sell what they do; they give it away, and it is the sheer bliss of being able to. That's what a gift is, right? I have, we all have our own. I call them spirit tricks or silly body tricks that we do. We got our physical tricks that we can do. Everyone's got something really cool that others might not be able to do. And of course, that same thing applies with the silver spirit trick, the frequency that Siobhan was talking about as well. You have your own frequency, your own cool thing that you do, and everyone has got one, both physical and spiritual.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Allegorically, totally supporting the name game.
Yeah,
the name game is done.
It reminds me
it.
of. Oops. It reminded me of Colleen's story of the singing the song when somebody offended in the village. Do you remember that one, Colleen? It's like having
yeah, they would
sing
the song. If someone they had a song sang to them at birth.
Yes.
That was a beautiful story. Yeah.
Do I sound real garbly?
No,
my phone sound okay, on this end. This ends really garbly. That was in the African village. When a woman is pregnant, they take her out into the forest, and the women take her out, and then they all listen, and they a song comes for the baby. And, I said I'm kind of like in La La Land. It's not all coming together there, the story.
No, I here,
I
give
remember
a quick synopsis for everybody. Effectively, what would happen? No worries. The child in the womb would have a song sang to it. It would be its own song and only its song. And it was sang at different celebrations throughout its life. And if the child ever went awry of the community, lack of a better word, standards of benevolence or whatever, that child, was, whatever age they were, brought into the circle and their song was sang to them to remind them who they truly are and how much love the community has for them. It was punishment. It was self-reflection, and it was a moment where they could sit within themselves and take accountability and responsibility for themselves. Does that pretty much cover it, Colleen?
Yes, yeah. How the whole village supports, and no one ever does anything wrong. If someone does something that may be offensive, or they're never punished or looked at like they're bad. They come together in love and they sing that person's song, and just hearing the song and the vibration that they have grown up with since in the womb just really shifts their whole energy. And it takes a village, all of us, to love each other, to sing that person's song to them and remind them how magnificent they are.
Beautiful.
Exactly. And that's how you build a community. Yeah.
Thank you, Lynn.
Natural law. Gotta love it.
Yeah. And again, it's allowing the individual to become fully aware of how much love the community has, and that's exactly the energy that we're moving into.
Yeah.
That's what we do at this table.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon.
Hi.
Hi.
There's like an initiation, even with men. There's always some sort of initiation process that they have to go through. Like, same thing with a circle. You can't step out of that circle, and a lot of hardship goes about them. They can't eat, they can't drink, but at the end of it, they're welcomed back into the community, and they have gone through the ritual and initiation, and in fact, everybody in that community has. So they are now one with the community, and that is the community. There is no separation of like, okay, this is your parents, and no, everybody looks after everybody else, And there's a lot we can learn from those tribal societies, because what are we at Kate of Gaia's table, our table? It's we're a tribe in some sense.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, we're almost like the internet and technology is kind of bringing us back to this archaic revival of tribal society and initiation and community where we all really care about each other, you know, to the point where we'll mute, you know.
Let's prove what you said phonetically, and it's really easy because, you know, when you say the word tribe, people can automatically get a picture of, you know, natives, you know, gathering as a tribe and wherever they are in the world.
Right.
Well, let's have a look at it phonetically. You have the tri, which is the Trinity, and you also have the B, the Christ consciousness, into consciousness. So it's a Trinity of Christ consciousness in consciousness. Then you have a tribe all, which is the Trinity of the Christ consciousness of all. So this is where the true meaning behind tribe and tribal really proves out and bears out exactly what that is. And it is. It's a state of consciousness. And it's not self-serving. It's all-serving. And that's the trick, as far as I can tell anyway. At least that's what I found on my path, that the more you for all, well, you're part of the all, duh. Aren't you helping yourself anyway? But just take that outside of yourself, and it brings things, for me, it brings things better into focus and better into balance. So, well, the next tune, I tell you what I'm going to do, guys, just to see if I can get this flash player to work. What I'll do is I'll engage the song. I don't know if I have Mike or Mark or Ninja or Bindi around to keep an eye on board. But I'm going to reboot. The song is 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Go figure. Anyway, it's called Why Daddy Cries, and I wrote this actually after my ex moved out of the house, and it was 1 week the girls with me, 1 week with her. So this was my summing up of how I felt at the time, of the whole lunacy of this. It was like, sorry, you can't own children. You cannot possess children. And there's nothing more destructive than that whole process. And that's exactly what the courts do. They want people to think of their children as chattel, and unfortunately my ex does. And I fought tooth and nail to make sure that my girls would be a part of course, part of her life, without condition. I didn't put any conditions on it. This was about wide open, what makes the best sense for everybody. You know, but my ex was always very materialistic, always keep up with the Joneses, and that's where my daughters are now. And anyway, I think I get the gist of what I'm saying with the song. So while
they're infinitely protected through your waters, Kate.
Oh, absolutely. There's no chance of any. That's what I mean. Both my girls, I removed them from the system like 3 years ago. That intent is already known, so it doesn't matter what joinder that they get themselves involved in. It's all null and void anyway, right? So they can carry on through their lives following whatever they want. And don't worry, I'll do the background work to make sure. So where they may not have a cartoon angel, that's what I am. I play that role for them, and that goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, where I've been trying so desperately to want to be wrong about all of these things that I've experienced in terms of the people that brought these things to bear, you know.
Oh, I know.
Again, it's about coming to terms with yourself, and this is one of the reasons why this table works. Well, it works for, I know a lot of you, but it works for me in that I get to share hope and experience that many people can not sympathize with. Fuck the victim. To empathize. This is stepping into each other's shoes. Can you be, don't think like the other, can you be that other individual and see it from their eyes, their point of view? And the instant you can do that, things make a whole lot more sense. And there's no conflict, no hostility. There's simply the urge of peace. And you got to bring the peace home to yourself first. And that's taking the responsibility of every dance, every communication you've ever been involved in. You were always half that equation. And some people just can't own up to them actually being half of any equation. It's all your fault. Yeah, okay, fine. No problem. But here we go. I'm going to read my computer while I run this song. I haven't heard from Mike or Mark or anybody yet. So if for some reason I'm not right back on the board right away after this, just be patient. It generally takes 2 to 3 minutes for my computer to reboot. So I should have at least 4. Oh, hey there. How are you? So you got the board?
Good luck with it.
Yes. Okay. All right, so I'll see. I'm going to fire this tune on, and I'll see you guys back on the board as quick as I can. Right. So if it gets quiet, don't worry about it. All right, back in a minute.
Jamming out.
And bring it up. Ready to go? Yeah, we're rolling. We're rolling. Why Daddy Cries.
Oh.
Pulls up in the driveway like she's done nothing wrong. It's Sunday night and the girls are packed again. It's one more week that he'll be missing, one more week he won't be kissing his angels as he tucks them into bed. She'll be talking more arrangements, just more words that he won't hear. All he's doing now is holding back the rain. It takes everything and then some to pay this weekly ransom that a cheating wife and best friend make him pay. He watches as they back up, then slowly disappear. Strains to see them one more time with blurry eyes. He makes his way back up the driveway, hoping no one sees the tears, and inside he hopes they know why Daddy cries. Why Daddy cries, he's lost a piece of heaven. Why Daddy cries, it's time he'll never see, until he has them home again and safely in his arms. The only reason, that's why Daddy cries. He walks into the bedrooms and he feels the emptiness that was full of life, not 5 minutes gone. He listens for the echoes that only he can hear, doing time for someone else's selfish wrong. At night when he's not sleeping, he'll get up and walk the floors. Out of habit he will check in on the girls. It's when he sees the empty pillows, he becomes the weeping willow. In a forest lost, he's in another world. Then the questions follow that will ramble till the morn, and will haunt him every minute of the day. It's the days that he'll be counting, one by one, to give him peace, knowing soon his girls will be home with him again. Why Daddy cries, he's lost a piece of heaven. Why Daddy cries, it's time he'll never see, until he has them home again and safely in his arms. The only reason, that's why Daddy cries. He'll be waiting in the kitchen, he'll be staring at the clock and wondering if she'll be late again. He'll be watching out the window till he sees them down the road. It's only then he'll cry a different kind of rain. My Daddy cries, he's lost a piece of heaven. Why Daddy cries, it's time he'll never see, until he has them home again, safely in his arms. The only reason, that's why Daddy cries, until he has them home again, much better. Feel the sun on your face even when it's rainy weather. When nothing matters, just as long as we're together. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I can't remember ever feeling like I'm feeling. Head in the clouds all day, got me flying, got me reeling. And there ain't no way my heart can't be concealing. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. I got my reasons, they won't need explaining. Why I smile all day, even though it's always raining. 'Cause you're the one thing that is constant and sustaining. You're the sun to me. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. And I find just a little bit more and more each day. Another reason that'll settle in. I know I found my way. All I had to do was look far enough to see. You're the sun to me. Ever woke up when it just can't get much better?
Back by popular demand. Thanks, Mark. Mark and Ninja got to the board, so all good. And yeah, the good news is just got, that's what I needed to do to start getting the tunes. It's 100% loaded, just waiting for it to process, and I should have I'm Doing Fine shortly. That's if Blog Talk doesn't screw up again, but that's okay. Anyway, there you go. See, where do you want to go next? Oh, and let me get, well, let me talk to you guys and see where we go next. I get Maggie's mic open again. Yeah, when the mics are open, anything that's going on your end of it's gonna be going live to air. So just be mindful of that. Any farts, coughs, sneezes, hammering on keyboards, clicks, bangs, and any pots and pans you might be throwing at someone will pick up on the air. So just keep that in mind. Just
good evening, all.
Hey, good evening, all.
Me in tears, and you know, I don't know if was that you that said, you know, is it rolling, Bob, or no, is it rolling at the very beginning? And you can almost holy mo! I was just right there, and like I don't cry a lot, you know, so
That's one thing that I always took to the studio. It doesn't matter what I was going through. I always went in with positive. Mind you, I had if we're speaking about Why Daddy Cries, I had played that song enough to be able to get through it. So I probably played that about a dozen or two times so I could get through it, and I would do that in my own time because that's one of the songs that I had that were extremely emotionally charged for me. I would play all of that charge out so that you know the rule is never let them see the sweat, and that always got conveyed in the studio, so no one would ever know what I'd already been through to get the song to that point, to be able to literally give birth to it.
Yeah, but you can still hear it, I think, a little bit, and like the fact that you can hit like the very high notes, even like I mean, a soprano can't even hit. I mean, it's just like, oh wow, and like you place the visions and just the words and the imagery, just really connected. So thanks. Wow, jeez.
Well, that's about right. This is where we connect. And I just wanted to do a little bit more musical connecting with tunes that we haven't heard much of at any given time. And this being said, I'm just scrolling down the list here. I'm just waiting for this other one to possibly get uploaded. It's kind of showing that it is. It's saying it's 100%, but it has to go through a processing, and the wheel's still spinning. So, well, at least it got... yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember when, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, something like that, you were playing songs and you would give us a little preamble about like the history of the song, how you came to do it? Could you do that?
Yeah.
I love that too, Mr.
Yeah.
I love that too, Mr. Pipe. I was going to say Montana, and if you could tell us that story again. Would you tell us the story, Kate?
Yeah, it's story time with Kate tonight, eh? Okay, I can do that.
Stories and music, hey.
This is where we get to the inner child, right? This is where we get to sit around in story time. Oh, by the way, I figured out the whole mess here that's going on is we were playing a spiritual game of telephone, and somebody changed the original message that was sent out. And what we're doing right now is saying, no, that's not what Bobby said. Asshole.
That's good.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember being that one in school where we do we play telephone, right? The teacher whispers something into the first child's ear, and we have to whisper it to each other the whole way around. And the last kid stands up, gets to say it out loud. And there was myself and a friend of mine that we made it a ritual habit of completely changing whatever was being whispered in the left ear. What came out of the mouth into someone else's left ear was an entirely different thing, and you had to do it with a straight face, right? Because you couldn't get caught snickering. So you always have that stunned look. I said, "Whoa, But eventually we always got caught playing it. But that's exactly what's going on here on the spiritual side. So you want to hold again, Montana? All right. Well, let's do that one. And this was written in the studio at Airwood Studio. Just outside of Erin, Ontario, not far from where I am right now. And where are we here? Oh, I got my car back for a little bit. It was running great up until it didn't start again. So start back to the shop. I probably won't get it till Monday or so. So it's all good. Of course, it's the Ishtar weekend, so let's all celebrate Satanism with the church this weekend, shall we? That's kind of what I want to do tonight to dispel all of this energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead. You jumped in.
Well, Satanism isn't, depending upon who you're talking to. I've met very cool, nice, sweet, oddly enough, Satanists. Again, never take me literally. It's the anagogic. Let's call it dark principality, worshiping, wanting to redirect the energy of people. That's what I do, right? I'll leave the... Leave it to me. Start defending.
It's all good, man. I love you. All right, so let's talk about hello again. It's all good. Hello again, Montana. What an interesting little song. It actually it played itself out a few months later after I'd recorded this, which, other than the state, it was almost a true story for someone. So it was a true story to them and what happened to them, but it was they came to me later and basically told me the allegory because they had just lost he had just lost his wife to cancer. And I didn't know this. I had no idea any of this was even in the works. One of the songwriters, they come out on occasion, and as it turns out, he had lost his wife in December. When I was told this, and it sent chills up my spine, basically. But and of course, the song came out of nowhere, as they always do. And I had went into the studio to record a couple of tunes, and there was Sal, myself, and Sue there. And I was in the studio room where the board was, and Sal and Sue were out in the other large room. And I was sitting there getting stuff set up for recording the bed track, and Sal's cat, Montana, came into the booth, the studio booth, and jumped up on a chair, and I just looked and I said, "Oh, hello again, Montana." And he just looked at me, and this song literally downloaded between talking to the cat and actually finishing the song was about 15 minutes. And then from there, I went straight in to record it. And this song is probably at the point of recording less than an hour old from inception to record. So this is actually, of all the songs that I've got, this one is it's got the record, the fastest from writing to recording of any song I've got. So it's within an hour of actually writing this that it got recorded. So it was written in the studio, and it was just one of those things. And here it is. Hello again, Montana.
We drove across Montana underneath the summer sky. It had to be 10 years since I've ever felt this high. It was a clear and sunny Monday. I still smell the summer tires burning up more highway, and the reasons to tell me why. Hello again, Montana. Do you still remember me? I know it's been a long time. There's only half of me. Hello again, Montana. You haven't changed that much. It's so nice to see your roads again. So nice to feel your touch. Hello again, Montana. She always loved your blue skies, always made her feel at home. Said one day we'd move here, but one day soon that never came. I lost her last December, when the cancer claimed one more. So I've come to spread her ashes in this place that she adored. Hello again, Montana. Do you still remember me? I know it's been a long time. There's only half of me. Hello again, Montana. You haven't changed that much. It's so nice to see your roads again. So nice to feel your touch. Hello again, Montana. Drove across Montana underneath the summer sky.
And of course, added the steel guitar later to it, but yep, that's about as raw as it gets. Boy, the babies want out, they want out, right? It doesn't matter where you are. As long as I got a guitar in hand, it happens. Yeah. So.
What year was that, Kate?
That would have been about 2008, I guess. 2008, 2009, probably. Around that time frame, anyway. It was just ahead of my. I had enough of this system and the business and all the rest of the crap. That I just got tired of the knives in my back, you know. A couple of tunes that I have on here on this list. Nothing wants to load. Actually, it said 100%, but it was just sending out, so it wasn't getting to the process stage. So we'll go with what I've got anyway. But I do have a bunch of tunes. I was really excited about some of these tunes to let you hear. You know, some that were 22 or more years old, and it was interesting listening back to them last night. I didn't get to sleep till probably 4:35 this morning. Because I was going through these songs, and of course I wanted to listen to them for, quality as far as, can I upload this? Is it, am I going to embarrass myself by putting enough up or what? But of course, it was really walk down musical memory lane for me, and I had a grin on my face last night, crazy. But there's two songs on this here that actually have. They were both written on the same day. I remember the day very clearly, and I was just having one of those days that some writer on occasion. And on this day, I wrote 11 songs. They just kept dropping out of my face, and two of those songs are actually on this board. One of them was the title track, "If Love Could," and the other one you got for the If Love Could album, of course, and one of the other songs on that album called Tonight. The only difference that the two of them had was because Tonight I wrote the lyrics for it, and I had a meter and a suit melody in mind, but I'd already been regurgitating or pumping out so much stuff that day. It just and I do have all the other stuff. I've probably got dummy recordings of it somewhere, because I'll typically when I write something, I'll throw it onto a cassette or something just so that I can remember the melodies and what have you. Because I don't read or write music, so for me essentially everything is memory based. It's within me, right? So, but the two songs are "If Love Could" and "Because Tonight." Now, "Because Tonight" I wrote the lyrics for, and it was a year later that I put the music to it, or it finally came back and hit me what I wanted in it. So I'll do both of these tunes back to back, but they were both written on the same day, and they have a similar vibe to them, and I know at that time what I was going through in my own life, and basically, for lack of a better way to put it, these were it was calling out to love, basically, is all it was, and it would be me screaming, "Can you hear me?" Can you hear me? And no, nope. But that's okay. Got a couple of great tunes. I got a lot of great tunes out of it. But and these are just captured moments. So we Because Tonight first, and that's full production. And this one actually charted as well. It would have been 2000 and when would it have charted? Because I didn't put one on that album. This one was actually another album that never got commercially done, but it was Bio Lullaby. I had still have copies of CDs around. I'd done a bunch of different arrangements of different tunes, and give them out to people. Give me your feedback. Which ones are going to make the album? I've got Rescue is on this list too, of which song I wanted to put on the album. So, and I always bounce it off other people to see which ones work, and then I have to take the upbeat ones and the ballads and mix and match to keep a nice wave energy going. So I guess the only saving grace I had was I had so much material that was never an issue. It was just a matter of which ones am I going to put with which ones. I just didn't have social life. My social life was writing. So let me, I'll do Because Night first, and full production, then If Love Could, which was a very simple guitar with some piano. The ones that I do have that I want to get it up, there's a few of them there that I wrote on piano, and I don't play piano very well, but I can fake it well. I know chord structures but anyway, I'll just do Because Tonight. Actually, I did the piano in Because Tonight, and Mark did the piano in If Love Could. 2 different studios, 2 different times, but both these songs are written the same day, within hours of each other. So here we go, Because Tonight. The button will work. There it goes.
Pray tomorrow comes and you'll be there. In your eyes are dreams we promised we would see. Come tomorrow, bring the dawn of you and me. Because tonight feels a lot like forever. Every moment hangs in silence without you. Because tonight is not somewhere I wanna be. I need you near. I need you here. Because tonight being here without you just isn't me. Stars tonight, do you remember? Can you still taste the wines of passion deep? And wake tomorrow, do you miss the night now gone? So I hope tomorrow finds me safe in the arms of love. I pray tomorrow comes and you'll be there.
Yeah, when, that one charted, and it wasn't even ready to go. I'm not sure what all that clicking is. There was a bit of clicking. It could be something to do with Blog Talk, but have you guys ever heard "That's What Love Is For"? I'm going to play Good next, but have you? Have I? Okay, good, because it looks like one of them uploaded, and talk about hooker by crook. We'll get these puppies in here, but that's their first take song in the studio. But these are the ones I loved because they. I've got a lot of first takes. They always seem to capture a little bit more. There was nothing worked about them. They were just raw, and I didn't know what was going to come out of my face when I sang it. So it was like, you only get one chance at the first take, right? So, and I was very fortunate in hearing this. Yeah, it is. That's exactly it. It's uncorking that Dom Perignon, 1870, right? Only one bottle, right? And you want to just make it right. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because it's kind of the feeling I got now. It's the first take, and we have to get it in the house this time. It's the first take. Yeah.
Exactly. That's our game. So.
That's our game.
You got it. There it is. That's the allegory of this reality to me, and nothing is sweeter than the first take of anything. So, if I could, this would be another first take recording. Of course, the bed tracks would have been there with that take, and I know I've got them separated somewhere. But a lot of times I would do it, and the first vocal, I may have to redo the guitar or something, but typically the first vocal always seemed to carry through on these things. So this one here, I'm pretty sure this is not the one take, but I can never be too sure because that's just the way things turned out. So here's If Love Could, title track for the first solo album we did in 2001. Here you go, and then I'm going to play That's What Love Is For, and it's one of my personal favorites. I love playing that song live. It always carried itself live. So here's If Love Could.
Perfect place to be. In your arms when day breaks through, in your eyes I would see me. Complete I am when I'm with you, so impossible to say. To describe to you would take all time if love could find a way. Love could hold you now. You'd know me when I call. I'd be there beside you, hold you up so you won't fall. I stood here on the edge of time, looking out for you each day, hoping that we would meet again somehow, someplace, some way. And if love could, I'd be standing by your side. And if love could make it so hard to hide. If this eagle now with broken wings has found a way to fly, if love could make everything alright. the perfect place to be. In your arms when day breaks through, in your eyes I would see me. Complete I am when I'm with you, so impossible to say. To describe to you would take all time if love could find a way. And if love could, I'd be standing by your side. And if love could make it so hard to hide. If this eagle now with broken wings has found a way to fly, if love could make everything alright. And if love could make everything alright.
And there you go. Yeah, Because Tonight and If Love Could, both written the same day. One's fully birthed that day. The other one, a year's worth of labor went into putting that one together, Because Tonight. So a lot of versatility. That's one of the things I was listening to last night. See, that's the interesting thing about, listening to the things that I've written. And you sit back, well, for me, it's sitting back literally as a third party, right, listening to it. And it's a very surreal thing, especially when you hear your stuff on the radio and stuff. It's just mind-numbing. Didn't have a lot of that experience, but I had enough. I do remember one story regarding Simple Love. I had bumped into someone, I guess about a year or so after. It was another band that I was doing some sound work for, helping a friend. And their lead singer, we were sitting around the table before the show, and we just got to talk about music and, of course, what else musicians talk about. And the subject came up about, Athen Rai, because actually this was in the, when would it have been? Athen Rai was still more or less together at this time, but we'd been letting out a rehearsal spot to a couple of other bands, and this was one of the bands. And anyway, sitting around talking, and I mentioned, the song Simple Love and whatever. And she turned to me and said, Simple Love, that's your tune? I said, yeah. Not thinking, because again, this is you're in a totally different headspace, not ever expecting to bump into anyone that possibly ever heard your stuff on the radio and whatever. And it did quite well. It's number 17 top 40 in Canada, which was pretty cool, given that, one, we didn't have a label, two, it was basically word of mouth that carried it, and people calling in. It was all based on requests and stuff like that. And talking to the station, that tune has had some impact with people, and they called in about it. So I remember getting a phone call off the radio station regarding that, and this was right in the very early days of really doing anything musically on any level. So it was all brand new to me, but it didn't dawn on me, hey, of course I wrote it, because I wrote it. It's like, we're on here, you should know that, right? But it was from an entirely different perspective that she was talking to me from. So I felt pretty stupid afterwards. But anyway, one other little story about that song as well. I had it was when the phone came in from the station that someone had wanted to get a hold of the album. So I ended up, I thought it'd be a cocky lead singer, and I'll go and handle it to them, right? Thinking I was going to be this, that, and a bag of chips, right? Just, ego stuff. It was a lot of fun. You get caught up in the emotions of it. And sure enough, I ended up, it wasn't too far away from where I lived, maybe about a half-hour drive. So I ended up getting an address through the station, and I thought I'd come out and surprise them. And so I got to their apartment and knocked on the door, and the station called and said that you were looking to get a copy of this. They didn't say why. I figured they just wanted the song in it. So I had the whole band autograph it for them and everything. So I wanted to make it special, right? And I got to the door, I knocked it, the door opened up, and I was talking to them. And I said, here's the album. I had everybody in the band sign it for you guys. And great, appreciate it, you know. And then he turned to me and said, well, really happy because we were trying to find a copy of Simple Love because we wanted to use it for our wedding song. And I can tell you at that moment you could have knocked over with a potato chip, basically bags of chip and then some. So again, this is the gift that music returns. It returned it to me anyway, in all of these little anecdotes and stories of or episodes of the road, if you will. And the most awe-inspiring, in my life, some of the most awe-inspiring moments I've ever had, completely coming out of left field, not knowing where something's going to come in from, and there you go. So hopefully I can get that one loaded up in the next day or so, and we'll do another musical thing. Again, this is my counter rebellion to any dark entity. I'm just going to take care of it with music. That's my language. That's the real language that I speak. That's who and what I am. That's my spiritual trick. So there you go. There's another little background on that. So when I start listening to the tunes and just things come back. Oh, I will say this regarding Simple Love. It was charting, and the band, we were playing in a lot of different places. Ended up in this one bar in Oakville. It wasn't so much a place dedicated to live music, which was good because it was a music venue. So people coming there came there for live bands, and so it wasn't like you had to sell it, right? Anyway, I remember because Simple Love was only myself on acoustic singing and Trevor doing some keyboard stuff in the background. So a very raw tune, which made it even more surprising as to why it charted. And listening back to it last night, I understand the energy that was in it, but I'm still to this day amazed that it did what it did. But anyway, I'm playing Simple Love. As soon as I started hitting the opening chords to it, there was this table full of ladies. Like, the place was packed, right at the very front. Excuse me. And so I'm playing and started singing through the song. And I looked down, and this whole table of complete strangers I didn't know are singing along with me. I'd never met these people. And you got to remember, this is '82. It's all brand new to me, and it's like you don't get any rookier than I was in the game. Total naive. And I've been playing in bands for a while, but never really experienced any of this, right? Anyway, so I looked down, and they were singing along with me, and it completely unnerved me. I forgot the friggin' words to the song, right? So I never get through it. I muddled through it, but I never played the damn thing again because that's how rattled I got. It's another fun little story. So what I'm going to play for you guys now is another one take, and actually that Love did sound like the original vocal because I'm listening for certain qualities in the voice. The uncertainty of not quite sure where to take the song, but there's also a background vocal in there as well. You may not have heard it, but I listened to the layers, and it sounds like the front one was the original, and the one behind it was just a layer, a vocal layer. Typically, when if you listen to music very closely, you'll hear, especially really clean, beautiful voices, right, that are completely impossible to duplicate live. Because typically what they'll do is they'll keep going over the same vocal over and over up to 20, 30, 40, 50 tracks of the same vocal over the same vocal, and what it does is it compresses the sound into perfection. It's sort of, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it kills it in some way.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you can never reproduce it. Well, yeah, and again, you have the vocalizers that people use now. And now, that being said, vocalizers, I did use them in the studio, But Sal always turned to me and said, I don't even, it's basically a pitch correct if there's any just nuances. And Sal always turned to me and says, you're the only one that comes in here that you're within 1 or 2% of zero at all points. That it's not even correcting. It's minimal. So I said, oh, cool. And I had a long time to learn to pitch, so I've got an ear for it. But yeah, you're right. It really, and you can't duplicate it live. For me, it was always, if I can't play this live the same way it's going to be recorded, I didn't want to record it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to hear the same thing live. I don't want to come up with these little tricks that everybody uses on stage to make somebody that can't sing, sound perfect. They'll never be able to do it live. And then, of course, live, because the production values, they'll bring in all the gear so that it's literally a studio on stage with pitch correctors and everything else. And, of course, running background vocals and layers, so you don't even know if the individual is singing. Well, we've had lots of those stories, right? People lip syncing. And that's what a lot of them do. It's sick. Yeah. It is an illness. It really is.
The only singer I've ever heard that could sound exactly the same live as he did in the studio was Freddie Mercury. And what a voice he had.
Oh, what a voice. I mean, that I don't even categorize it in the voice range. I categorize that in the godly range. Like Freddie Mercury's voice. Wow. I mean, that guy had such control.
And sorry to interrupt. Two things here. I'm thinking, sometimes it's like, if it's the right kind of music, this silence we talk about, some music feels like that silence. I know it sounds crazy that you're listening to something, but you become silent. And the other thing was peace in Danish is fred. So in Danish, he's called Peace. With that voice, it's perfect, yeah.
Yeah, Matt, it's perfect. Phonics proves it yet again.
Yeah.
So, I should do a shout out now. We've got just under 15 minutes until we roll over. I'll carry this through. We're in the mood for songs here. For those that want to call in, of course, you can call in at 661-467-2401. And, of course, is the TR listener? I got to go to the room and check.
Have you got any of them unplugged tracks, Kate? Like all your big songs. Like a lot of bands did like an unplugged album. Would you ever consider doing that, or have you got them stashed away somewhere?
Oh, I've got them. They're in storage somewhere. I've got literally hundreds of CDs and hundreds of cassettes. I've got 2-inch reels of recordings. I'm not sure what kind of condition they're in now. They've been in storage for 2 years with that and cold, so that's not good for CDs or tape. But anyway, we'll see. But I do have, of course, like I would always do tracks. So there's always an individual track, right? So now I'm just trying to find the, it's TR listener 059, those that want to cheat their way to the table. Just put that in your search contacts and for it, and once it comes up, just right-click it and hit call. That'll bring you straight to the board, and you can call via the Blog Talk Radio page on the Skype button there, whatever's easier for you. A great big thank you to Paul Giovanni and the criticalmassradio.co.uk for this opportunity to completely self-indulge in myself here and share the heart with everybody. Welcome to my world. This is my wonderland. So I thought I'd share a bit of that at the table tonight. Anything anyone can do to help out Critical Mass, well, gosh darn it, you're helping you and me. So you know the routine. If you can, great. And if you can't, great. It's all good. Just get your heart in the right place and it'll be there anyway. That's the way I see Wonderland. But that being said, here is a first take. I think I actually say that in the opening of this. That's what love is for, take one, I believe. But anyway, this one I wrote in 2006, and this one is it's a neat little tune. I like I said, I love to play this one live, and of course, hosting a Songs for Cafe. I was writing a lot, of course, and always observed people and my own life and people around me and whatnot. So you never know where this stuff's going to hit you, but here's That's What Love Is For. And this one's for you guys. Remember, 12 minutes till we roll over. If you want to continue on with the Kumbaya moment with Kate and the crew, the Emerald Table, you'll have to get in on the board in 12 minutes or less. Here you go. That's What Love Is For.
All right, That's What Love Is For. Take one.
You just might convince me if you say it long enough. 'Cause I've been sitting on the sidelines so long, it's a wonder I stood up. Guess we met out on the same road, often traveled empty lives. A drifter's heart is tough to settle down, but when it does, he knows it's time. Time to give him everything he's got. He's not paying for a round trip anymore. It's all or bust. No point in walking half miles. It was this extra mile that got me to your door. I guess that's what love is for. Waking up became a burden. Hard to see a shuttered sun. There were only rain clouds in the distance, no sign of letting up too soon. And there you were, just like an angel. You took me in and held on fast. Healing hands and nothing more than whispers. You kissed my heart and made it last. It's time to give in everything I've got. I'm not paying for a round trip anymore. It's all or bust, no point in walking half miles. It was this extra mile that got me to your door. Time to give in everything I've got. I'm not paying for a round trip anymore. It's all or bust, no point in walking half miles. It was this extra mile that got me to your door. I guess that's what love is for. I guess that's what love is for. Yes, that's what love is for.
That's what love was for. Take one. Yeah, I thought it was. There's a few too I want to find. They're in the storage unit somewhere. It's Substars. Just funky little tune. It's really hard to play. I do that to myself once in a while. I've written a few songs that were just a freaking nightmare to play, but I wanted to get to certain notes, certain vibes going on within it, and that one I just loved. And the thing about that tune as well, Sal in the studio, he had it up where I was, of course, plugged in with the guitar, mic'd out front as well, right? So my guitar main guitar that I play, my Martin, has got stereo jack, so I had a mic inside the body of the bridge pickup, and we had the stereo link plus an external, two externals that picked it up, and Sal wasn't expecting me to strum during. Neither was I. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with the song. It just hit me. I'm going to strum here, damn it! And it blew his meter, so he jumped to bring the meter back. So there is a peak in that song. Again, none of these have ever been compressed. Compressing a song just puts it in the same wavelength, so you can deafen something. So it's a very raw take of the song. Oh, Janet's jumping in the fray here. Good. Yeah. Oh, what else? That tune actually was written for Sue, because for many years up to that point, she was my best friend, someone I could talk to, and no one else was listening. But she worked with me in music, so it was that natural camaraderie in music, and she was involved in other things as well. But that's who inspired that song. And of course, out through my own turmoil, 2006, of course, right? That was a fun year for me. Yeah, anyway, so as it turns out, things progressed, not because of that tune, but later on in 2007, where we ended up together, best friends, go figure. And I think for me, that's the hardest part for me to overcome was the years of friendship and not even worth a text reply. This is why I want to be so desperately wrong about all these people. And
I know.
But that's okay. This is my contrast. So this is where I get to share that very, and it can be an extremely strong emotional to remain neutral in, but it's a beautiful test ground for your own strength, your own metal, if you will. So where are we going to go from here? I'll tell you.
Can I say real quick, kid?
Yeah, please, guys, jump in. I mean, this is, you know me, I'll keep talking, especially music. You can't shut me up. Go ahead.
Beautiful. I just wanted to say that, remember, Barbara that plays bingo, right? Obviously. Remember Barbara? Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I was just jamming around, and I came up with a song. I wrote a song about her, and it's called, was she from Atlanta or Georgia or something like that, right? So I called it Atlantean Bingo, and it's just about this, an old woman coming by and, having her phone on and trying to, it's kind of nonsense and fun, but it's kind of profound in its own way, and she hits bingo at the end and, has a heart attack. It's hilarious. I'll record it maybe and play it.
Yeah, please do.
Carry on.
Anybody else? Yeah, anybody else? Brandon got me up, so jump in. What else we hear? Here's one of my all-time favorites. Of course, it cuts off at the end of the full recording, but this is another first take effort, I believe. And Darren's coming back in. A lot of bouncing around on the board tonight. This is pretty weird. Mind you, Blog Talk not been working 100% here. At least I got that one uploaded, so I'm not. I can't be too bitchy.
Well, we're zipping through time, brother or sister.
It's all good.
Hairs. I'm just gonna call you Kate or Kate or Hairs.
I've got little halters on tonight. I figured if I'm going to play music, I'm going to dress for radio tonight. So there you go.
Awesome. That's your true nature. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
If you've got a radio voice.
Outside, it's awesome.
What was that about radio voice?
I just finally recovered from the first song, like holy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you got a radio voice, Keith, welcome to my radio voice.
Oh, I've got one of those. I can do that. I just choose not to. I prefer this very monotone, natural après-ski voice. My après-ski voice. Now, this
like
next tune. Well, it's mellow. It's like I don't consider myself having a radio voice, which is pretty funny.
I disagree. I think you have a very professional radio voice.
Well, to me, it's stage voice. I had to talk to the band. Not only did the guys want me singing all friggin' night, I had to do all the talking in between songs. Where none of these, I'm not going to talk. Oh, for crying out loud! So I had to be the joke cracker, the lining things up while they messed around with their gear, and it's like, no problem. I'll write all the songs, I'll arrange them all, I'll sing them all, and I'll front the band, and you guys sit around and I got to talk too.
Honey.
I know it.
Yeah.
Honey, you are the owl.
Isn't that funny, eh? 90 seconds, by the way, for those that want to jump in here. We got first one on the board.
If just one of you awakens.
If but one, right? I just got to figure out which one of me has to awaken, right?
Well, it's
here we go.
It's happening big time this morning.
Oh, for sure.
Yep, this morning.
I hit the floor run this morning again, guys.
Yeah.
And then of course the call came in to get the car, and I went up. I was so happy to pick the car up. Nice shiny new gas tank and everything, and then it's back in the shop. So and of course I had a great chat with Mary this afternoon. It was just awesome hanging out with her. And of course it's Victoria's birthday today, so it wouldn't be right if I didn't say happy birthday to Victoria live on here. But anyway, she's 21 again. I already knew that. Okay, so this next tune you guys have heard a few times, and this one was inspired by one of the girls that worked at the restaurant where we did the cafe for many years, and it was during one of because we know all the wait staff and whatever very well. I mean, they were all like friends and family at that point. And overheard her talking about a relationship thing that she was going through, and she was pretty, beaten up and whatever. And we had a bass sound myself and a few others, and we were talking it out, and that's the song "When the Sea Meant for It." And this is how I viewed that situation, and it got us called Rescue. So here's Rescue.
All right. Okay. Rescue. Here we go. I think if we get people emailing in, they can decide whether this song makes the album or not. All right.
Take my hand, rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue. It's just a word away, it's just a word away. I've watched you try, I've seen you spread your wings to fly, without a place to land, not so much as one horizon, but you push on through every wall that still surrounds you. Set down your stubborn pride, it's a friendship I can't hide, so take my hand. Rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue. It's just a word away, it's just a word away. You think that I don't hear you when you say you'll find that's true. It's what you cannot say, it's your eyes that give away. I know when my friend's hurting, That's why I'll share the burden. I've been where you are right now. I'm still there, still learning how. So take my hand and rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue is just a word away. It's just a word away. Take my hand, rest your weary heart a moment. One last stand for what you've always dreamed of. Here I am, an island in your stormy waters, and rescue is just a word away. I said rescue is just a word away. Hey, it's just a word away.
Yeah, there's that suddenly. That actual recording came from a live radio show that I was doing. It was a songwriter spotlight that Sal did through Aaron Radio, the first station I started talking at. And I think I did 3 or 4 shows, so that was actually an excerpt from that show, so that was being played live on the air at the time. So, no pressure. So, we're 1 sec, let me just take care of something. Just got to get to it, and there we go. Just like this. This is how I work with magic. Isn't that funny how I do that? Okay. Yep. How's that? Don't worry, Clarity. I've got you. There you are. See, magic. Kate's magic. I can do all sorts of things.
You're gonna have the
including not only piss you off, it can make you smile too. Hopefully, right? So there you go. That was, like I said, a live recording from a radio show. I was just trying to think of what to do next. So in the meantime, it's coffee talk. Talk away. And Clarity, if you can, if you got some background noise, if you could mute on your end, because I cannot mute you on the Skype on my end of things. So there you go. Just let me know. Anyway, so yeah, jump in, guys. Comments? Funness?
I love it always, but I just want to know how to play the songs, and I just want to know the chords. So maybe someday,
I've got charts. I do have.
Oh, you do?
I have charts for that.
Where?
Yeah, not all of it. Yeah, we've got.
I'm trying to
charts.
figure it out.
On my own. That's one of the things that I've. And this was always something with anyone that was playing with me. My songs sound incredibly simple, but there's certain movements in them that just.
Oh, big.
You don't say. Really?
but they're very simple songs to me. Well, I wrote them, right?
Oh, yeah.
But there were some nuances, like shifting out of 4 for 2/4 and back, pauses and hits and stops. It all sounds like it's in straight time, but it's not.
And that's why. Pardon me.
No, go ahead.
So that's why when one follows their own frequency, accepts their own frequency, and lets the cover songs be left for others who want to be outside of themselves, it just becomes so simple and easy for the creator because it's its natural rhythm. I have a brother, he plays notes in a row, doesn't know a single note. Yet people look at him and say, "You've been playing for years," and he's like, "No,
he just puts them in a row. He knows how to put them in a row. That's a good way to put it."
He stands in his truth, gets a flute, and by 3 weeks later, playing notes in a row, no having to, got to, has to. He's playing notes in a row, and he gets called liars by people who play the flute.
That's
I'm right there to say, actually, no, it's been 22 days since he got that flute from so-and-so.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. I've been present where he gets his notes in a row going, and another on someone else who says they can't play music. Next thing you know, the can't be playing music is playing along with notes in a row from his own little thumbprint. and the 74-year-old lights up like he's in the grace of God, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it took us 3-4 minutes to actually get him to say, yeah, I can do that. We had to literally talk him into playing his own notes in a row. You know, take the inspiration from Kate's notes in a row, and then create your own frequency, because that's the truth of the exchange.
Well, you know the opening song that I play at night, Only Hearts, right?
Yeah.
That's a tricky little bastard to play.
Yeah.
It gets better every
That's
time
a
I
tricky
hear it.
one. And it sounds. Does it not sound simple? But it's
but I know
it's
like
slow.
holding like the
Hold on
A
the G.
chord with the pinky and let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, that
stuff.
one is capoed on the third, so I did it in the GA form. Like you would play G and A, D in an open tune, like regular guitar.
Yep.
Well, capoed on the third, and you play those same G, A, D chords to get the song. It opens in. Yeah, if I had my guitar in with right now, I would. Well, again, I do have that one charted. It wasn't me that charted it either, so I had a friend of mine do a lot of these. Because, like I said, I can't read the stuff. And believe it or not, most of my music is actually upbeat. I'd say it's about I'd say 60-40 split. 60% upbeat, 40% ballads. And for me, I've always loved ballads, and that's I wrote lots of upbeat stuff just for fun. Well, on that note, I'm going to play one off the Nature. Oh no, this was the Larry Slept In album. One of the very first three songs that Ath and I did together as a band, and this is an interesting tune. This was actually written for my best friend and his ex-wife. This is back in. Tim didn't actually play on this cut because he was only with the band for a short time. Yeah, same, and even the original Ath and I too, in the original album recordings. This is off the Larry Slept In, but this song was they were constantly at talk about insecurity issues. But anyway, this is what this song was about, what it was written for. So here's off the Larry Slept In album from 1994, Over Me.
I
in typical Blog Talk fashion, Mono Destroyed. Oh my God, that sounded horrible. These songs are, by the way, available on SoundCloud. Thanks, Equa, for putting that up. And it's if you go to soundcloud.com/Kate-of-Gaia. If you want to hear these songs, one sec. Giuseppe at Lightworkers Media, and I believe has them up there as well. You can find all of these on YouTube. Just Kate Gaia songs, YouTube, and if you want to hear them in their true form. Yeah, that was just painful.
This is seems to me this is the true form.
Yeah, it's again, it's Blog Talk, and I think for some reason we've been having a lot of issues with Blog Talk tonight, so I'm going to pick on the station too much. It's just that one just got slaughtered. You guys are sounding a bit broken up now as well. What are the odds?
Yeah, pretty good.
Where was I going to? Oh, Paul asked a question. The band that was formed in 1992, February 92, called Athen Rye, went on for 7 years to 1999, where I had to quit my own band. It was that bad. It's funny how the band fell apart as soon as I left. Imagine that. Take me for granted, will you? Okay.
Why?
And I just got tired of babysitting. We'd have one music video day by day if I can get that song uploaded. But I just got tired of funding everything, putting up with just stupid nonsense. One of our well, here was the band in a nutshell. Bass player would show up at a four-piece band rehearsal at my place. I set up my whole basement as a studio and rehearsal space, right? And actually, I owned all the gear. What are the odds of that? Anyway, would show up with a six-pack for four guys, and I used to say, John, something wrong with your calculator? Which one of us doesn't get second beer? There's two of us here, right? And the guy, anyways, one of the Silver Spoon is. I love him. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. But the song "Fields of Athen Rye" was where the name that's where it got the name Athen Rye. And a song that a lot of people think an old Irish ballad is actually a song written in the 60s, I believe. I forget the artist's name. But we did it was the only cover song that we did as a band. And we did do some stuff later, but never went out and played it live. Just a lot of stuff that I didn't like to play, sing, and just stupid, typical cover stuff. And my heart wasn't in it, and that pretty much getting to be the end of me, because we'd done everything original up to that point, and I wasn't going to sell out, and I just really lost heart in it. But Fields of Athen Rye, the version we did was, and I have to see if I've got a copy of it from a rehearsal or a live show somewhere on a tape. It would take me probably forever to find it, but I know it does exist. But we did almost like a rock opera version of it. It was a very intense and kept true form of the song. It wasn't rearranged or anything, but we put a very
edge.
It was a dark edge, but it was dark. It's kind of hard to describe, but it was just very, very powerful the way it was done. So what I was going to say earlier, when I get these other tunes uploaded, hoping to get them all up to SoundCloud as well, where you can hear them properly. This is just killing me here listening to it on Blog Talk. But I found one of my songbooks, so I'll have to get my guitar out one of these nights, maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, and I'll play a few tunes that haven't been recorded.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Just play them live.
In about 4 days, we will be, where the freak is Kate? Well, he's still playing. She's playing. Leave her alone. We'll see her in a month or two.
Wow,
and then she'll pop up with is it just me, or is it when you just grab the guitar, you just seem to be in this mood, and you don't want to let it go, and then you need a fag and a cup of coffee, and the guitar is still there, and you just pick it up, and it can continue and continue and continue until you put it in the box and put it on the wall.
That's the thing about this.
That's my fault. Yeah, I should never have put it on the wall.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, music, and this is why I don't do this very often, because music for me is a singularity. Because I love playing music, but I hate what it reminds me of.
Right.
Oh.
Wow.
It's very hard. It's very hard for me to play anymore.
Of course, it's your life. It's your whole. It's your whole ex-life.
That's my singularity.
Right? New life. I mean, it can be. Why can't music be part of who you are now? I mean, it never leaves you.
The very thing I love to do is the very thing I hate to do now. So
honey, it's what you teach us. Love me enough to hate you, and love me and hate me enough to love you. That's what you're doing with your guitar this moment, yeah.
Yeah,
it comes
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, now I need people just to let this sink in for a second. Okay, take all the emotion out of it, because this is the only way I can do this. I have to remove all the emotion. Do this.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's very simple. Sometimes we think about and we talk about stuff, and it's like and then a couple of days after it just booms into us, and this is part of it. I really feel this is part of this awakening, and this coming to the truth and standing in it 100% is we get it in slow motion, and we have as far as I have seen, all I have seen on the internet about it is take it in slow, sink it in, let it be, silence, and then boom, it comes again. And last year I saw a YouTube clip, and it actually said if you were getting all this download at once, your body would explode or something insane, it said, and it makes perfect sense. We have to take this in little bites, and then chew it and sing it and let it be in your heart. Feel, is this right? This is right. Okay, this is truth. Next item. Yeah. And I think this is it. Yeah, you hate it right now, because
right now. Again, it's not that I hate it. It's just that I hate what it brings up. It's a confrontation of things, right?
Now.
Well, I totally get. This is why I'm trying to convey this, so that you got to see the singularity in this. Like, people don't understand how difficult it is for me to pick a guitar up. I've got people that want me to play with it. I can't do that. Not right now. I cannot do it.
Oh, really?
Right?
That bad? Okay.
It's a strong feeling. It's a strong feeling.
When your whole life is absorbed in the very essence of who you are, and then to turn around and all of the ones that you were doing it for just didn't give a shit about any of it.
Yeah.
That's a tough pill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it didn't matter. It didn't matter enough. So that's the mountain I'm climbing. It's my road home. I have to climb this mountain. So I've had people say, "Oh, okay, you should play more. You should do that." At which point, that's the old "let them see you sweat." Never, that's my poker face, and a lot of the times, not a lot, every time, people just don't have an inkling as to how difficult it is for me to confront my guitar. So what I'm doing right now, like even last night, I just got in that zone, and I was listening back to things I hadn't heard in years, and I was like a kid at Christmas. I was like, look at all these candies that I get to re-experience in a whole new moment of now. So it's very difficult to explain.
Understand.
Yeah, it's just really there are no words for it.
It's okay. We can feel this. We can feel this.
Right, I can totally for that because I have that thing with it too. And like Bob Dylan wrote "Blood on the Tracks." It was his divorce album, and he didn't know why it was popular, and he couldn't relate to it. He's like, "Why is My Pain and Suffering the most popular album right now? Like, why do people relate to that?"
Because
anyway,
the job of the songwriter and the poet is simply this: put into words the feelings of others that cannot express it for themselves. So that's what makes it. That's what makes it the friend.
That's right.
This one of the reasons why. I've my catalog's well over 5,000 songs. I mean, that's mind-boggling to even think of that. Over the years, I mean, that's how I learned to play guitar. So, and don't be impressed. I just didn't have a social life. It's all good,
Well, Kate, it's.
Here's my question. Can I just ask a question real quick? Kate, did the music, love for music, exist before, let's say, the trouble started happening, or or what you shape?
I mean, the first thing I learned to play. The first thing I learned to play when I was
your whole life, and I understand like the trouble. But you got, does the guitar own you, or do you own the guitar at that point?
Well, that's what I'm not sure. You see, that's my mountain. See, you're asking questions that I'm trying to answer for myself, and I haven't got there yet. So I'll let you know when I do, though. And just to let Randy know, you're in here as well. Got you. You want to jump in?
Katie, thank you. Love to all.
Hello.
Hey there, Randy.
And, true art, the artist really, the job is to reveal the truth within their soul. And whatever that is for them, for that artist, as long as they're doing that, you're golden, right? That's what it is. It's the truth in your past. And then, Katie, I think if you thought of me, I can't do it.
You tried. It's all good.
If you thought of me making my wee marijuana brownies for my wee children, then you'd be able to write the song and play the guitar.
I'll write a song for you.
Yeah. That's the thing is, I haven't really written anything in the last 2-3 years.
No rush.
Things I've put together, but that is not me.
As far as I hear, the songs you have been writing, the songs you have been playing, is absolutely sufficient for now. We are listening to these songs, and they are written in that moment for this now. I know it's not me. Can't you all hear this? These songs were written in that time for this now.
Beautifully put. Yep, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's the only word that I've ever heard describing a few tunes with video guys and whatever was they're timeless. You can put them in any genre, any time, and they'll fit, at whatever level,
Unto me.
Yeah.
I think that.
But Kate, what you can't do at that time is put in the intent to it and the love in the song and express it with your voice. I don't hear this. I can hear a lot of Beatles, but the voices are not like. I don't know how to express this, but it's like the voice, the intent in your voice was about this.
There's no candy floss.
There's no candy floss. It's
straight up. Here it is.
And yes, some of the music we heard 40 years ago we can still hear, but it's not with this. It's dead. It's wonderful music. It's well played. It's still it brings you to the dance floor at the minute you hear it. But it's like the voice you have put in and the intent you have put in these songs That's the everlasting thing.
And I'm thinking of the atmosphere. You know, so I'm wondering.
That was.
Sorry. You know, it must have been. Okay. I'm thinking Nashville and country on some songs, like Hearts Like Ours, or no, it's like Only Hearts Like Ours Remain. That's what I thought it was anyway. Only strong, or Hearts Are Strong as Ours. Yeah, so I thought that was like there was like a Nashville sort of like thing to it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. You gotta like know the music of Nashville and sort of like the industry that's there, you know. And I think Kate does, and may have recorded there once, right? I don't know.
Where's that? Nashville? Oh yeah,
Nashville.
The text is only Hearts Like Ours Remain, and that's a freaking amazing text to write some years ago for this now. Yeah, only Hearts Like Ours Remain. The rest of them, they actually don't beat anymore. I mean, and the text is okay, but the intent and the voice, Kate, where did you come up with that?
Right.
Well, only Hearts was an internet challenge actually, and the challenge came from Nashville. That was my string to connect me to Nashville to get me playing down there the first time, and it went from there.
Oh.
So,
I'm a songwriter. Oh, are you? Prove it. Yes, here you go. It is written.
Yeah.
And then
that was
it. Song like this.
Keep right.
I couldn't copy and paste at the time. That's how new I was on computer. So I had people in the chat room do that for me and send me the lyrics so I wrote.
Yeah, I think there's some mystical like thing of like writing lyrics and so on. Dude, sometimes you write them right in a studio on like whatever a pen and paper, you know, and you're like, and it works, you know. That's the music, the magic I think of music, you know, at least, you know, like and like some people expect a grand story about, and sometimes there are. Don't get me wrong, you can be inspired by this or that, you know, or a beautiful woman, a beautiful relationship, whatever it is. But I find that like the best inspiration comes like all of a sudden, and you just make a song that, like you said, like almost like a few takes, you know, and you know, little, you know, differences here and there, and that's it, you know. That's how I
again
record.
For me, about keeping it as simple as possible. I tried not to overplay anything before I went in the studio. And speaking of which, I've got another one I want to share with you guys. You've heard it before, and this is one of my personal favorites. It was for a friend who was having issues with a personal relationship, and I was a neutral observer on it. Of course, you put your own heart into it and your own scenarios, but this song was written as an observation, and it's amazing how close to the heart this struck for me on many occasions. So I'll just play it, and then you'll know what it is. I'm going to play. There's two versions of it. I'm just going to play the straight acoustic vocal take. There's actually two guitars going on this one. I did two tracks of guitar, one with regular open string, and then capoed on third with recording it, as in to chord it differently with the same chords, so I had different tones happening. But here it is.
Somewhere like a dream, your world washed over me and took me far away, so very far away. Made sense of all things wrong, gave hope where all was gone. What do I need to say, really need to say? Your eyes are all the words I need, wanting nothing in return. Your love is unconditionally. I have so much to learn. When I hold you in my arms, nothing seems to matter. when my world caved in around me, nothing through the smoke to see. There you were, still standing like an angel, holding on to me. Somehow you pulled me through, turned faith back into truth completely, so completely. Held strong when others ran, gave my heart a place to stand, and you saved me, more than saved me. Your eyes are all the words I need, wanting nothing in return. Your love is unconditionally. I have so much to learn. And when I hold you in my arms, nothing seems to matter. I'll never let you get so far. Being there is what you do. And when my world caved in around me, nothing through the smoke to see. There you were, still standing like an angel, holding on to me. When I hold you in my arms, nothing seems to matter. I'll never let you get so far. Being there is what you do. When my world caved in around me, nothing through the smoke to see. There you were, still standing like an angel, holding on to me.
Like an Angel. Yeah, that one. It's got a lot of power in it. We've got about about 23 minutes left here, so I might be able to squeeze one, maybe two more songs in. Well, tonight anyway. Let me see what else we got here. Oh yeah, lots of neat tunes.
Good gem of the episode.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've got the stuff that I have to load up. We'll take care of that easily. Let me see. Speaking of Nashville, this is a tune that I wrote in Nashville. One of my trips on there, and I wrote quite a bit down there. Sorry, Braden. What's that? What's that?
I'm sorry. I just said. I think I remember you saying that you wrote down there one. I'm trying to think of what song it is. I asked you for another hint, like as to what song it was, so I could kind of, in my mind, just wait for it. Yeah.
Oh, so you're wondering what it's called, right?
I think I know.
So you're wondering what it's called, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, won't you be surprised? Here it is.
Okay.
If it's in your heart to love me, let me know. If it's in your heart to leave me, darling, let me go. 'Cause I'm tired of hanging on, wondering, just wondering about tomorrow. What to say, is that heart of yours just borrowed? wondering if you'll stay, 'cause I'm tired of being lonely. Wondering, left wondering. The night you left me lonely, staring into empty eyes, never saying where you're going, midnight alibi. The smile you leave behind you never seems to be the same as the one you come back home with. Was I just another game? If it's in your heart to love me, let me know. If it's in your heart to leave me, darling, let me go, 'cause I'm tired of hanging on. Wondering, 'cause I'm tired of hanging on. Wondering, just wondering.
Yeah, so you were wondering what the song was called. Well, it's called Wondering. There you go.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wrote a few dozen songs down in Nashville. I've got, let me sure what I've got in my book here. Okay, let me see. Oh, I've got one of my old Wrath and Rye songbooks. Here, let me just read off a few of the titles from our play. Read off a few titles from the playlist that I used to have. This is part of our playlist. All I Can Do. And we're going back. These are all 92, 91, 92. Because I had a few tunes that I had written, well, of course, prior to Wrath and Rye. But the first three songs that we did were Holding On as a band, Over Me, and Nature. Was it Nature? No. Over Me, Holding On, and let me just get on this here, and I'd Like to Stay. And of course, I haven't been able to get that one uploaded yet. But here's one of the short songs. All I Can Do. It goes back to July 7, 92. A Mortal Man, Blackjack, Carry On, Closer Still, Convicted of Love. I love that tune. Crash and Burn, I have a recording of that. Day by Day. Sorry, what's that? There's a time lag between us, so it's really staccato, and just be aware of that. So it's about a second or two.
Oh, right. Right on.
Yeah. Dream Child, Fading, Faith Alone, Final Curtain. These are in alphabeticals for this book. For Love, that was a great tune. I loved that one. Full Circle, I still play that one. Holding On, haven't played that in a long time. Great tune. Hometown Girl, got a recording of that. I'd Like to Stay. Infinity, It Is You, I got a recording of that. Jackie Be Nimble, that was a fun tune as well. Let Me Go, that was from a previous band called 2+2 that I played with. What are the odds? 2+2, right? Lee Man, that was another one that I did with. That was actually one of the first tunes I ever wrote. Love Is Love, loved playing that. Masquerade, that's a power ballad. My Time, Nature of the Game, For Me, Rebel Heart. I got to get a recording of that. I know I have one somewhere. Running Against the Wind, She Wants. There's another fun little tune. Simple Love, Some Forgotten Sunday. That was fun. So the Man Says, Stone Cold Sober. That's a heavy metal tune I wrote on acoustic. Pretty funny, actually. Take My Hand. Yeah.
Is it sometimes, because you write so much too, just without music, and I'm like, some of all this music you have made, some of it, maybe only the text could if we could get that.
Well, again, a lot of these things, like I've got 2 huge basins filled with just lyrics. Never mind the hundreds upon hundreds of tapes and CDs of recordings of. I've got everything that I've said there. I've got a recording of it somewhere.
Okay. So we can listen to it at some point when that's the time for that. We can listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, when I have about 2 years to go through all of the tapes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got. I'd have to go back through these because I don't write any. These are all lived by memory, so I'd have to go through some of the songs in the book. Some of them I have written the chords out, just the structure of the song, but the vast majority, it's like I said, I've forgotten more songs than I can remember, but I know somewhere I've got little. Oh, Jackie Be Nimble, that was a great tune. I love that. Step Soft Little Sister. I think your dad says 3 o'clock in the morning and you didn't bother to phone. Out running with the devil, it's a late, late night. Make those baby footsteps nimble, but don't forget the lights. And yeah, these were a lot of.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah. Hostage Heart was another fun one. This was a hell of an arrangement too. It was a tough song to play. But you can run, but you can't hide from a pounding heart. Sorry, Brandon. When you jump in, it's staccato and it just cuts everything out. So just give me a sec here. Where was I? Yeah, Hostage Heart. I know I've got a recording of this somewhere. Well, you can run, but you can't hide from a pounding heart down deep inside. The kind of sound that'll keep you up at night. You're under the gun with a hostage heart. What makes you think that you can't start the chain reaction that'll get you what you want? Because you're reaching out with an empty hand, you find it hard to comprehend. The language of love gets so complex. Oh, it leaves me shaken. I'm a nervous wreck. And so on. I got so many tunes. I mean, I'm actually surprised I have copies of these in this book, and I've got dozens of books. Because we typically had a rotation of about 200 songs that the band played, and of course I always brought new ones in. But typically, on any given night, there was anywhere from 40 to 45 songs played, of course, and in a rock band, of course, vocal and acoustic. It was always a grindy workout for me, but we made a point of mixing up the sets. So we'd have like 4 different sets that we knew cold, and we flip them around. We decide which ones we want to do, and depending on the night and how abused my vocal was, because my bass player decided he didn't want to fucking sing. Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Well, I'm the bass player. I'm the bass player. I do not sing at all.
Well, if John hit one bad note, it was like if he had one hair out of place or there was a spot on his patent black leather shoes. He run off in a corner with his silver spoon. I love a guy, but geez, he was such a child. He really was. He's a guy that would show up 20 minutes before we go on stage, right? And Sam, myself, and Cliff and Trevor, we haul all the gear from the warehouse in Guelph to where we're going, Hamilton, Toronto, whatever the case may be. Get everything set up, and he'd walk in with his wife now, if they're still married, on his girlfriend at the time on one arm, his bass on the other, and not a hair out of place. He'd go, "How's it going, guys?" We're all sweating like race pigs, right? Trying to get all this PA gear set up and the lights. And I said, "Oh, I'm glad you fucking showed up, asshole." And that's the same guy that would show up with a 6-pack for 4 guys in the band. Yeah.
It's always one of those.
Oh yeah. Well,
right.
Yeah. Did you hear about the drummer that locked his keys in the car? Took him 4 hours to get the bass player out.
Yeah.
Honey, you should make a movie.
Yeah.
No, they already did.
Yeah, they're making them for her. Like.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we got time for probably one more tune here. Oh, I'd Like to Stay got loaded up. Haha. Okay. Well, here it is. This would be a great tune to close on. This is a song I wrote in 1992 when I was with 2+2. Actually, I've got a few songs that won songwriter awards and whatnot. It's a tune, "Losing You," which I've played before here. It won Best Song we won Best Band and Best Original Song in a competition, playing against a bunch all country bands, and who were this rock band coming in to hokey it up a little bit, and we cleaned up. We took the whole thing in the Best Original. It was kind of funny. There was a lot of pissed off people, but anyway, listen, we stood our ground, and that's it. So here's I'd Like to Stay, as done with Athen Rye. This is back in this was recorded in 1994 on the Larry Slept In album. I wrote this in 1991 while I was with 2+2 with John. So here's I'd Like to Stay. This is a neat tune. Listen to Sam's solo. He's such a gifted guitarist. Too bad he's an asshole. Here we go.
All right, That's What Love Is For. Take one.
That clicked on the wrong song. Here we go. I did hit it. Here it comes.
All right, go in.
In the morning light you find me with my head in my hands and a heavy heart. Don't wait around, 'cause you'll only make it harder. And knowing you'll only close the door. You know I've tried so hard to show you, but the blind man sees more, 'cause he sees with his heart. And if there was one thing I could tell you, it's how much I have loved you from the start. I'd like to stay just a little bit longer, 'cause loving you is so easy, can't you see? I'd like to believe I'm a little bit stronger, but a wakeful heart is so easy to bleed. You're gone and you know I should really be happy, but it tears me apart 'cause I can't feel a thing. At night when I wake up without you beside me, it's just me and the stars and the wish they might bring. I'd like to stay just a little bit longer, 'cause loving you is so easy, can't you see? I'd like to believe I'm a little bit stronger, but a wakeful heart is so easy to bleed. In the morning light you find me with my head in my hands and a heavy heart. Don't wait around, 'cause you'll only make it harder. And knowing you'll only close the door. I'd like to stay just a little bit longer, 'cause loving you is so easy, can't you see?
Yeah, Athen Rye was always balls to the wall vocals.
I do love it when the bass playing the second voice, and he did that.
Yeah,
he was perfect.
Yeah. You know, at least 60 or 70% of the time, that never happened live. It was like, oh, you're gonna sing tonight, John? Well, is your hair okay? You got your nails done? You're fine? Good. Okay. Higher maintenance woman than I was. Anyway, yeah, no, I love them all dearly, you know, and that's been part of this journey tonight. We're almost out of time here. There's actually, on the Larry Slept In album, there was a hidden track that if you left the CD running, there was another tune called I Could Love You Then at the tail end of I'd Like to Stay. I forget, it was like something like 2 minutes and something of dead space that was left. So if the CD player, we did it as a joke, right? So if someone had the album in a CD player, and if they didn't get back to it when the CD supposedly ended, it was a little over 2 minutes later, they'd be walking around, and all of a sudden this tune would come screaming out of their stereo. And we got a lot of feedback from people. It scared the shit out of a lot of people. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I didn't even know there was a track there. And it's like my stereo exploded with this song I wasn't expecting. He said, yeah, well, it was a hit track. So there was 7 tunes on the Larry Slept In. There was more to go on it, but again, it was production funding that I just couldn't afford to keep doing. I probably have, well, I know I've got well over $1/3 in music spent in gear and recording and you name it, right? And that's probably a low estimate over the years that I did it. But, you know, that's all these tunes. Knock yourself out, help yourself to it. I didn't write them to sit on a piece of plastic or a metallized tape somewhere. They were meant to be played. And, yeah, again, like I said, this is my mountain to climb, and I'll get there when I get there. And all I would ask is that you breathe alongside me. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of questions that people want to ask. They're questions I can't answer, and again, this is the internal war within me, right? Look at it from the viewpoint of you give everything and all that you've got, and it doesn't matter what you're capable of, how creative and everything else you are. In the mirror of that, with my own family and friends and everybody I grew up with and everything else, it didn't matter a hill of beans of shit. So you get to that point in your life, well, what's the point in doing it? Because, well, it obviously didn't matter to those that I wanted it to matter to. So this is why these are gifts to all, so that if it does matter to you, they're yours. And that was the whole intention behind it. I wasn't out to impress anybody. It was just something I could do. It's something I can do. And right now, it's going to take me a little bit to get back into wanting to do it. And when your most powerful gift is seemingly utterly useless, sorry. Hey, that's mine, hon. Do not take that from me, and I don't want anyone to take that from me. This is my quest, right? I understand where it's coming from, but I'm standing in these shoes, and I know what I put into it. So there, honestly, as much as I appreciate it, there's no comment. It's all I wanted to do, so I wrote a song called Crash and Burn, being one of the neutral observers watching this constant crash and burn happen with guys hitting on girls and vice versa. It was no holds barred, that place. That's why I only played it a couple of times. Just not a great energy to be around. But anyway, I got a really fun tune out of it, and it just rocked along. So I'm hoping, this one song, Hometown Girl, I'm trying to get loaded up, is still sitting at 96%. So I'm not sure what's going on my blog. I normally have these issues uploading stuff, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Let me see. Oh, the connection's choppy, is it? That's probably because I'm trying to upload that tune. Thank you for that, Randy. And let me just see. Yeah, thank you, Ninja. I thought it was a good idea, too. I just, all too often people come to the table and I'm just this ranting bitch going off on the system and all the rest of it. But you might as well get an idea as to where this passion really comes from, and it comes from music for me. That is my silly spirit trick. And listening back to stuff last night, it really kind of sunk home. Looking back, in some of these tunes recorded 22 years ago. It's kind of mind-boggling to really think that these songs, well, one, are that old, and two, given the really levels of talent in terms of recording and performing and whatever. The first album, I can sit there all day and just let it apart. But there are moments, like listening back to it, knowing where we were. I mean, the first album, the band was only 3 months old when we did the first album, and it was only 6 songs, like not a full album, but that was an album to us. It was put on CD, and I actually did really well as far as any copies that were made. I think we might have done figure around, after all was said and done, probably between 2,000 and 3,000 copies. We sold all that stuff off stage, and we had T-shirts and you name it. We had. I think it was pretty funny. It was all self-done. We didn't have any agents. We didn't have any real management. Period. People that called themselves managers, but I was always the one doing the work. Of course, funding everything. What are the odds of that, right? But just great memories, great times, and very, very perfect time in terms of writing. And this is, for me, getting back into that focus again of the real. And I just thought I'd share a bit of that tonight. So hang in there. I think, this is still not showing, so let me cancel this. That's just retarded. Okay. Talk about, what do you call it? Alice in Wonderland. An interesting post up on my Facebook today in relation to what I was actually looking at last night. So it's neat how when you know your yellow brick road, you're seeing the things that are lining up and what's getting exposed and confirmed and affirmed for you. So that being said, I mentioned Alice in Wonderland. The song Cheshire Grin was inspired by Cheshire Cat. So it is basically the idea behind the song that I had for it was that I was the Cheshire Cat, and when I left or disappeared, I think I still want to stay on that course tonight because that's my world. That's my silly spirit trip, and it's like a lot of the documents, essays, and stuff that I'm writing are just other songs without the music. And because when I was listening back, I had quite a chuckle. I go down the list of what have I got open here. I listened to a couple of tunes I did with the last band I was with, Inverness, and that was very interesting. I've got other ones here that I've got actually a couple in here that were recorded at home, just my own gear. When I got around to taking the time to set everything up. It's really, for those that are actually in the recording game or performing game, it's always very hard to push your own material. The biggest fear you have is applying different treatments to every song. So I always had that in the back of my mind. Plus, you're also splitting your creative as far as wanting to push buttons and you're getting set up, start to click, and it's much easier when you have someone else pushing the buttons. I mean, you can produce your own stuff, but it's much easier when someone else is taking care of the knobs and dials and sliders and what have you. So anyway, what have I got here? Found a bunch of tunes, some older Athenry. You guys have heard some of the Athenry stuff that's on the Blog Talk page. Tunes like Day by Day, Don't Stop Music, Hometown Girl. I had a chuckle at that last night. Now those, there's a couple of different albums that I put in the band. One was called, the first one was called Nature of the Game, and the second one was called They Slept In. Very funny story around that. It's based on a true story. And it's a long story, but I won't get into it. Kind of an insight to the band. It wasn't so much a joke. It was really, just saying the truth, And isn't it interesting that in Funk's Laurie slept in? Yeah, isn't that funny? That's what I thought too. But yeah, they certainly did, didn't they? They got it kind of backwards, actually. What other tunes have I got? I'm not sure if I have Over Me on the board. Let me just check what I've got. Yeah, these things are just not wanting to upload. And yeah, I went down the list here. I don't know if you guys are in the mood for music tonight, but I think we've been hammering at this a lot lately, and I thought it'd be a bit of fun just to sit back and do a few tunes. It looks like I got some editing to do, but anyway, I got Only Hearts. Yeah, I have played Over Me. I got Pretty Eyes, Refuge, Rescue. What else we got? Shadow Road. Let me see. Yeah, Too Late. I wasn't sure if I've ever played that one. Got Why They Cry, Things of Love, Wandering, You're the Sun to Me, and other tunes that I found from the 2001 release I did called Love Could, and I do believe I have played. Do I have that? I think I do have that. I think I have played that one for people. One that yeah, it's there. That I played a lot of. I mean, I got my own reasons for certain tunes, and but that one, so the title track I do have up there, but there's a couple others, and these were done very low budget, just one other individual, which is the case with a lot of stuff in terms of self-producing. Just a studio. I mean, it's decent quality, and well, I called it album filler because I had lots of, not a lot of full produced. Again, it's all about budget, right? And a lot of understand how money goes into this. Typically, the average song, if you like, I'm talking on a low budget level, you're talking between $3 and $5 to do one song properly, reasonably properly. So you run out of money real quick. Simple Love. That one actually charted in 1992 off the first album. I'm going to try to get that uploaded. I've got Nature of the Game from the first album. I'm going to try to get that. The ones that I was talking about with the filler, if you will, things like Shelter, where was Shelter, and I'm Doing Fine. I'm Doing Fine is a really interesting little tune because I explored a lot of different angles vocally, and this one is really different. If I do get it uploaded, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I've got another one called Nature of the Game album called It Is You. Another one from Larry Slept In, I'd Like to Stay. And that's the song, the line in it that I refer to a lot. I wrote that one in 1990, and it's the one line, a blind man sees more because he sees with his heart, and that's the song that line is in. So rather interesting, and listening back to the talents of the individuals I was hanging out with in band form or just a recording studio form. It was really interesting too. These were all moments in time, and of course I'm listening to all of these just I haven't listened to a lot of them in years, and it was interesting that as soon as I put one on it, whatever song was, it always went back to like highlight time that it was played live with the band, and it's pretty reliving those really cool moments, and it's amazing how you can surprise yourself. I've got a couple ones here that are just how to put it, one take off the floor in case of where was it? Let me see. That's What Love Is For. This is the first take of any recording I ever did of it, and it's pretty neat. Another one I recorded at home called Where to Start, and another one, Where Were You, and another one off the Larry album called With You. So there's actually a fair bunch of tunes here. I've got Scotland Forever. That was one of the things with Inverness. And again, a lot of this stuff, well, in terms of Inverness, wasn't really completely finished. The only one that really got completely finished was You're the Sun to Me. It's Inverness. You guys have heard that one. But Day by Day, another one called Crash and Burn. That was written about a local bar. Very tongue-in-cheek sexual innuendo. That's basically this place had a reputation. I think I played there 2 or 3 times, but it had a reputation of basically being the trollster for guys and girls, that I would always leave a smile behind. That was the idea of music. So it was kind of a musical allegory of the effect I hope to have whenever I or them played anywhere, that when we left, we always left smiles behind. And we were pretty strict as far as drinking nothing while we performed. And actually anything like beer or whatever was very, very minimal anyway outside of that. But when you stop and think about it, you're playing bars and clubs and larger venues and what have you, and that stuff's always around. But we were of the mindset, at least I was, and this is kind of my rule. You want to play with me, then I want any drunks on stage, and I want people, if they're paying to come out and see us and want a good night. I'm not paying to see a bunch of drunks screwing up on stage. It was about pure professionalism, so we could be the best we could. It was one of the things about Athens Rye that really me stood out was we never got captured really in the studio. We were a live band, and I do have, if I can find the stuff, it's in the storage unit somewhere, but some really cool videotapes and audio from rehearsals and whatnot, and we were always at our best live. But that being said, let me just chip in here with Cheshire's Grin. I'll open this up musically. And if anybody wants to jump in right now, why don't you just put your hand up, and then we get into doing some music. You get some of your feedback as to what you think about doing this tonight. That would be cool. So for anyone that wants to jump in, all you got to do is hit 1 on your dial pad, your phone, or open up the Skype dial pad and hit 1 on that as well. And there we go. Hands up, baby. Hands up. How are you? You're on 04. Okay. Is that choppy, or you got it muted on your end? I got your mic open 7.
I had it muted. Sorry, Kate.
That's okay. I do it too. I've been talking with the mic muted. Oh, I'm so blonde Irish. It's all good.
Favorite song of yours is "You Are the Sun to Me."
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do that after I do Check Your Grin. But yeah, that was one I wrote for Sue and my daughters. And I think those that have tuned in for a while, they know the story behind that. It was just the complete defiance of having completely one of the shittiest weeks of my life. And I said, no, there's no one going to get down on this. So I wrote that.
Kate, whenever you talk about your daughters, obviously the psychological reaction for your fans and listeners and, people who just listen to the show is sadness. But on the other hand, I hope that you feel like a lot of us are kind of looking at you, not as a parental guide, but I hope your family realizes that you provide a lot of psychological and emotional support for thousands of people. A lot of, you know what I mean? I hope that people in your family see that, because you have that quality.
Well, thank you for that, because that truly is it. And when I say
you
things
are my mom.
like you, yeah, when I say things like I do this because you matter this much, I'd say that with lightly. I say that because that's where it's coming from. So there you go. We got Lynn in here as well, so thank you for that. And you got it nailed. Hey, Lynn, Supergirl,
hey.
How are you?
Oh, good. As a family member here, I would just like to jump in and say yes. I so see.
Does the rain still fall from where you stand? Are you not quite sure of you? Does a heart that pound within you now know what must be true? Is the sun forever hiding? Have you still got clouds to see? There I am, the rainbow to guide you. Oh, if you please. Only hearts as strong can weaken. Only hearts as strong can cry. Only hearts that feel the way yours does can understand the why. Only love as strong as kindness can release you from the chains of a love so strong for someone true. Only hearts like ours remain. Are the storm clouds slowly moving? Are the pictures getting clear? You would long not see the heart that's mine. You must know that I am near. I will take you in my arms tonight. I will show you what it means to at last see white, to know the love only hearts like ours can see. Only hearts is strong can weaken. Only hearts is strong can cry. Only hearts that feel the way ours does can understand the why. Only love as strong as kindness can release you from the chains of a love so strong for someone true. Only hearts like ours remain. Only hearts like ours remain. Only hearts like ours remain.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live at critical-mass-radio.co.uk. Yeah, what was I going to do tonight? Yeah, I was going to do some music tonight. You know, kind of, I was going through some files in my other hard drive. It's kind of neat. I came across some, a few tunes you guys haven't heard yet. And I thought it might be a little bit of fun to share those. Unfortunately, right now I'm having a hell of a time getting them uploaded. They're getting to 96 and 99%, but they're not carrying through. But needless to say,